If you wanted to be a MAGA Republican, though I can't imagine why, the number one skill you'd need is shameless hypocrisy. And no one embodies that better than Carolyn Leavitt, who goes out every day to spin and lie on behalf of this criminal administration. But her latest display of hypocrisy is actually backfiring because it's humiliating Donald Trump himself. We'll break it all down. But first, if you enjoy this channel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It really helps support our work. Now let's get into this Carolyn Leavitt video that's blowing up in Trump's face, starting with her continued failure to even understand how tariffs actually work.
No taxes on tips, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on Social Security benefits. He is committed to all three of those things, and he expects Congress to pass them later this year.
I'm sorry, have you ever paid a tariff? Because I have.
They
don't get charged on foreign companies, they get charged on the importers.
And ultimately, when we have fair and balanced trade, which the American people have not seen in decades, as I said at the beginning, revenues will stay here, wages will go up, and our country will be made wealthy again. And I think it's insulting that you're trying to test my knowledge of economics and the decisions that this president has made. I'm now regret giving a question to the Associated Press. Mary.
Carolyn, it doesn't matter if you raise your voice, scold reporters, wag your finger, or attack whatever outlet someone's from. It doesn't make you any smarter on tariffs, because you don't understand them. And neither does Donald Trump. What's worse, this administration doesn't even care to understand the most basic piece of their own economic policy. One that has effectively raised taxes on everyone in America except for the billionaires who cashed in with Trump's massive tax cuts and are now profiting off insider trading tied to those very tariffs. That's one issue. But the bigger problem? They don't even seem to know what they want these tariffs to accomplish in the first place. And before we get into the Carolyn Leavitt clip, let's take a look at just how little Trump's team actually understands the consequences of their own tariff scheme.
What's the tariff on bananas? Americans, by the way, love bananas. We buy billions of them a year. I love bananas. What's the tariff on bananas?
The tariff on bananas would be representative of the countries that produce them.
And what's that tariff?
Generally 10%.
Correct, 10%. Walmart has already increased the cost of bananas by 8%.
But as countries do deals with us, that will go to zero. As countries do deals with us, that will go to zero.
But the cost is on the American consumer now and on the businesses with the confusion now. Mr. Secretary, I believe you know better. I believe you recognize that a trade deficit is not something to fear. I believe you know that predictability, stability is essential for businesses. I wish you would show that truth to this administration. And I yield back.
Time of the gentlelady has expired.
Would you mind, Mr. Chairman, if I make one quick comment to the end? Would that be okay?
I'm sorry?
Would you mind if I make one quick comment to the representative?
Sure. Please.
There's no uncertainty if you build in America and you produce your product in America, there will be no tariff.
We can't produce bananas in America.
Building in America and paying no tariff is very, very clear.
We cannot
Fighting
build bananas in America.
Time of the gentlelady has expired. Mr. Clyde?
Buy American. That is the QDEL. That is what we see MAGA lean on. We'll just buy American products. Well, what if we can't make those products in America? What if we can't just start bringing bananas to our shores? Like, what if MAGA doesn't understand how trade works? That is the core question here. What if they actually don't get it at all? Well, that is clearly the case in most instances, but there are some items that you can buy in America. Of course, they might cost a little bit more than if you just ship them from overseas, but Carolyn Leavitt, the person pushing most at this point for us to be buying products in the USA, has a different has a different core ethos when it comes to her purchasing. And it's the latest example of her hypocrisy that's humiliating Donald Trump's plan. Carolyn Leavitt gets suspiciously unpatriotic birthday present. The White House, while urging Americans to buy domestic, appeared to gift the press secretary an item from a foreign company. Donald Trump wants Americans to buy American, but Carolyn Leavitt appeared to score a French luxury gift for her birthday. White House staff threw a surprise birthday for the press secretary Thursday, captured in a video posted to Instagram by Trump's communication advisor, Margot Martin. Leavitt, who turns 28 on Sunday and is the youngest person in U.S. history to hold her post, happily exclaims, "This is so embarrassing," as she enters a festively decorated room while staffers sing happy birthday. As you can see here, one of the many gifts for Caroline Love, it was a Louis Vuitton bag. Balloons and several gifts are arranged on a chair, one of which appears to be a gift bag from French designer Louis Vuitton, easily recognizable by its colored paper and dark blue handles. The White House did not immediately respond to the Daily Beast request for comment. Trump, of course, has waged a global trade war, slapping tariffs on longtime allies to reshape international commerce in favor of American company. Louis Vuitton, as its name suggests, is not among them. Tariff rules for thee, but not for me. That is the theme of this administration. Also, what happened to the man of the people, the Carolyn Leavitt of the people, the non-elite working-class administration full of billionaires and white-collar criminals that we were promised at the beginning of Donald Trump's term? Are we just flaunting our expensive bags? Barack Obama can't wear a tan suit or order Dijon mustard without being called out, but Carolyn Leavitt just gets to stack up the leather from France, and it's not a problem. Really? These are the double standards that we're living by. Is this what's actually happening in this administration while things get more expensive for everyone else? Carolyn Leavitt, on designer bag number 13 from her 90-year-old husband who they met because he's got a couple bucks that he gave to her campaign, which, by the way, still owes hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid debt. Now, I'm kind of just going on a Carolyn Leavitt rant here, but I think it's all okay, because this is just humiliating. The hypocrisy is staggering, especially in the face of rising prices, which we can see right here.
There's more breaking news coming into the Situation Room right now. Walmart warning this morning it's raising some prices because of tariffs. This comes with the company just releasing a new report about its outlook for the rest of the year. I want to go live right now to CNN business and politics correspondent Vanessa Yurkevich in New York. Vanessa, you were on that call. What more can you tell us?
Wolf, America's largest retailer, largest employer, and really a bellwether for the U.S. economy, posted strong sales growth in the second quarter, but definitely faced some headwinds from tariffs. And we saw that profits in the second quarter did not meet Wall Street's expectations. And that's actually why you see Walmart's stock down right now about 4.5%. Listen, tariffs was the big point of conversation on this 1-hour call with investors. A lot of questions about what price pressures were going to be trickling down to consumers. You had the CEO, Doug McMillon, of the company saying that so far tariff impacts have been gradual, so consumers haven't reacted so much to price hikes, but where they're now putting out post-tariff inventory, and they're going to see price level increases on a week-to-week basis. So that's obviously concerning for the company. On that full screen you just had up there, another point of on the call was, despite these price hikes, they have seen resiliency from the U.S. consumer. Ultimately, Walmart still has some of the best prices, and that's why you're seeing increases in the grocery department. You're seeing increases in consumer spending on e-commerce. They did bring in a lot of inventory ahead of tariff hikes, and that's why they've been able to mitigate a little bit better. Walmart also raising their full year economic outlook, talking about being able to mitigate some of these price pressures a lot better than other retailers. Walmart, Wolf, obviously is in a much better position because of size and scope to absorb some of these price pressures because of tariffs. A big comparison to just yesterday with Target talking about the loss of sales in the second quarter and seeing consumers stores pulling back. Walmart saying that they are expecting to see growth the rest of this year, despite having to raise prices on some of their items. Wolf.
This administration clearly doesn't care about keeping its promises, especially the ones Donald Trump made at the core of his campaign. He ran on affordability. But instead of delivering, he's done the opposite. Life has gotten more expensive. The basics, beef, dairy, eggs, and now coffee, are all exploding in price. And while Trump keeps ignoring it, Congressman Ro Khanna is actually offering a real solution.
Say your bill on repealing the coffee tax is possibly the most perfectly targeted way of identifying what the Trump tariffs actually do.
You know, Lawrence, I appreciated your explaining that. Even Richard Nixon, when he had tariffs, exempted coffee. I mean, a coffee tax is not going to create jobs in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, or Ohio, or Michigan, or any part of America. We only produce 1%. And that's why I'm working with Representative Don Bacon to introduce a bill to repeal the coffee tax. And this is actually something that many Americans are upset about. Look, we have a history in this country. We started the revolution fighting a irrational tariff against tea. I don't think it's wise to tax Americans' coffee. And it just shows the total irrationality of these tariffs. It's like, why would you tariff something which isn't going to create jobs here and simply is going to raise the price of coffee for Americans when they start their day?
Yeah, the textbook case for tariffs, which is a rare case, was actually Harley-Davidson when they were the only motorcycle manufacturer left in the United States. It was during the Reagan administration, and they got a 5-year tariff on foreign motorcycles from Japan and from Germany. And Harley-Davidson themselves, as a company, recovered with the protection of that tariff. They were able to raise money, raise their prices a bit. They were able to innovate on how they built their motorcycles. And Harley actually asked for the tariff to be removed after 4 years. And Harley is now a tremendously thriving business. But that's because we were trying to preserve a product that was made in the United States. We don't have a coffee industry. We don't have coffee farmers to support by blocking coffee or raising the price of coffee from Colombia.
We don't. And look, the person who had a thoughtful approach to tariffs was President Biden. He said in industries like steel or like electric vehicles, where there has been unfair dumping, where there have been other countries who haven't played by the rules, we need to have strategic tariffs combined, by the way, with federal investment so we can build industry and have the jobs here, the jobs and reindustrialization across the country. Coffee, there is none of that. And what you're actually doing is hurting Americans in terms of the price, and then you're hurting the economies of Brazil, of Colombia, of other nations. That actually leads to the very migrant crisis that this administration is trying to solve. So it is just a totally lack of thought out policy. And the good news is there are Republicans like Don Bacon who see that. And they're both Republicans, Democrats, and independents who say, I don't want more tax on coffee. I think that this case symbolizes the irrationality of Donald Trump's economic policy.
Congressman Ro Khanna, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
This is exactly how Democrats should be messaging right now. Keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate or try to connect everything at once. Trump's tariffs make no sense. They're not accomplishing anything. They're just hurting you. The solution? Repeal them in a specific way that people can understand. That's clear, direct, and effective messaging. We're going to keep pushing it here. And if you want to support that, hit subscribe, leave a like, and drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I will see you soon.